Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to make a video about a very serious topic. It's going to be about child predators, and I just want to urge you guys, please take care of your children. Don't leave them out of sight. There are so many child predators out there. The newspaper is full with articles about pedophiles going after our children. And today I want to show my own personal story and tell how I got away from being kidnapped 2 times in my childhood. 2 times I almost got kidnapped, but I was gladly smart enough and old enough so that I could judge the situation right. So what happened? Well, I was a schoolgirl. Maybe I think I was in secondary school. I had piano classes, and I'm from a little town. Actually, I'm from a small village, and in the next town there was our school. So every day I had to go to school with bus, but sometimes this bus would not come right away. So sometimes I would walk home, and the distance was maybe 20 minutes of walk. So it's not too far. So what happened to me? Well, one day after school, after piano lessons, I walked home from the town to my village. It's connected by a road. Traffic is regular, but not that regular. I think it was maybe November or something. I remember that the snow was wet and there were fields that were plowed underneath the snow. So when I was walking home, and I was about in the middle of the villages, so I was in the middle of the road, the farthest away from all of those villages. Then suddenly a white van stopped at my side, and then a man put down the window. He was really ugly. I remember it. He had red curly hair, looked ugly. I've never seen him before. So then he starts to talk to me and he says, "Hey, how are you doing? If you want to, I can pick you up and hitchhike you to the gas station, to the next gas station." Apparently he knew that in my village there was a small gas station. So he offered to take me with him in his van. And I just said no, because I had a really bad gut feeling. And then he was asking again, "No, I can bring you to the gas station. It's just over there at the next village." And I said, "No, I'm not coming." And then I felt something was not right. And then I looked to the side, I looked at the fields, and then I thought, if this guy is now getting out of the car, I will run away. And I already looked at the direction where I wanted to run. So my escape plan was that I ran away perpendicular to the street towards a house which was up the hill. But I knew it's not going to be easy because the field was plowed and there was snow over the plow. So it was like a mess. But still, that was my plan. And then when he asked me again, I said no. And I made this movement with my hands. And then he realized that I'm not an easy catch or something. And he said okay and bye. And then he drove on. So, and then I went home and told my parents this, and they just said, "Huh? He probably just wanted to take you to the gas station." So back then you have to know that Austria at the countryside was super safe. Almost nothing never happened. We did not even lock our doors at the houses. Everybody left their door open. So it was so safe that nobody could imagine that something like this was going on. Funnily, later, 20 years later, I told my mom the same story, and she said, "If you tell me this now, of course I would have called the police, but back then it was I don't know, she didn't take me serious, or she just thought that the man really just wanted to pick me up to bring me to the gas station." Which could have been the truth, right? So I don't know for sure if this was a child predator. It could have been a nice guy back in the day who just wanted to help a child. But now comes the thing. A couple of weeks or months later, I walked the same distance, the same street, but this time with my female friend. So I had a girlfriend in my school, and we two were best friends. So we did a lot of stuff, like going into the forest, playing in the forest, fishing in the creek. I think we were like 10 years old. Yeah, something like that. So this time I was walking with my friend, and we were still at the edge of one of those villages. And then we saw this van again, and it was stopping at the middle of the road between the two villages again. So it was stopping at the side of the road. There was no sidewalk, by the way. There was just a ditch. And waiting. This guy was waiting for us. So we were kids, right? We were walking slow, talking, blah, blah, blah. We came closer and closer to this guy, and this guy was just standing in the middle of the road. So we were walking towards him because we wanted to get to our village, which was behind him, right? So walking, and then I had a bad gut feeling. So I said to my friend, this guy is still standing here. What is he doing? And first I thought maybe he is on the phone or something. I could not really see him. We were still too far away to see inside of the car. And then we just kept walking towards him, and he was still standing there. And this was going on for 5 minutes. And then 100 meters before we came to his car, I said, nah, I don't feel good with going to this guy. And then my friend also said, yeah, let's turn back and go back to the town where we came from, and then let's call our parents so they pick us up, right? So now the moment that he realized that we were turning around and going back to the other town again, he started the car and pushed the gas pedal and sped up like velocity extremely. We could hear that the motor was really loud, and he was speeding towards us. And this was a big street, like it could fit 2 trucks besides each other, but he stayed at our lane, drove towards us, and we thought that soon he's going to run over us. So he really drove very close to the ditch. So in the end, what we had to do is we both had to jump into the ditch to save ourselves. And this time though, I took a look at the license plate number, because the last time I forgot to do so. So this time we jumped and I looked at the license plate and I tried to remember it. So I kept saying it out loud. And I tried to remember it this way until we were back in the town. And I really tried to remember it. But when we were back in town and when I was at the phone, back then we did not have mobile phones, right? So we had to go to a physical phone. I wanted to write down the license plate, but then I could not remember like 1 or 2 numbers anymore. So unfortunately, I could not remember the license plate in the end. Then we discussed if we should go to the police, but we did not. I called my mom. She got us with the car and drove us both home. Oh my God. And I don't remember if I told my mom about this incident. I probably should have. But, you know, back in the day, they would have said nothing happened. So, yeah, so I was lucky. We were lucky. We were smart. We were children. We were already, I think, 10 years old. In this age, you are a little bit more smart than if you are only 5 years old. So, lucky me. Gladly, I have to say, nothing like this happened to me ever again. I think that both of those incidents are connected. I think that this was the same guy with the same van, and the fact that he wanted to drive us over, I think it's proof of that he wanted to kidnap us. Unfortunately, there are a lot of child predators out there, pedophiles, other lunatics. You've really got to take care of your children. Don't leave them out of sight. Don't do it. I've read so many articles here in Austria. They caught so many pedophiles in the last year or 9 months. It's really sick. It makes me sick to the stomach how many they caught. We have one case in with our friends. So apparently a friend of us, she has a son. He went to climbing lessons, and apparently this climbing teacher was touching and holding kids inappropriately. I think that they have arrested him. There were other cases about skiing teachers. Then one case about one really famous actor in Austria. He's a pedophile. Apparently they found 20 or 30,000 files of really bad, stuff on his laptop. Now, I have a son. He's now 2.5 years old, and now this phase starts where he is becoming a little bit more independent. So sometimes he's going away from me, even playing alone in the garden. Now, I let him do that, but I always follow him around the corner of the house, and I just watch what he's doing, and I just watch if nobody else is gonna grab my child. So this is what I'm doing, but I don't want to give him the feeling that I'm always watching him. So sometimes I watch him, but he doesn't realize it, so he thinks that he's alone. And this alone time is also important. Children also need to be alone and learn to be independent. So it's not good if you never give them room, so they can never be alone. But still, I want to watch my child from the distance, see if he's okay, and I just watch the street, make sure that nobody is coming to grab my child. Now, life really has changed here in Austria, because when I was a child, nobody cared, okay? We children, we went to the forest. Like behind our village, there was a big forest. That's where we went without adults. We played there from the ages 6, 7, 8, alone in groups. Nobody cared. Sometimes I had the dog with me. But I played in the forest alone for hours and hours. Nobody was afraid for the children, at least at the countryside, right? Here it's a little bit different. Nobody lets their kids walk home unless they are really older, but everybody is picking up their kids from the school or kindergarten, of course. Times have changed, and in the recent days or weeks or months, I thought, oh my God, they caught so many pedophiles. And the sad thing is that they will leave prison in just a couple of years. So this is a pedo guy from Austria. It's an Austrian actor. Further down in the article it says that he will only get 3 years in prison, up to 3 years. I don't know what happens after that. Will he go free, or will he go to therapy, or I don't know. I don't want to know how much of those child predators are already out of prison again, walking the streets again, endangering our children again. So it's crazy. It's crazy. You really have to be careful. Take care of your children, and it breaks my heart when I hear stories about those child predators. And this is also the reason why I cannot watch this movie, Sound of Freedom, or what it's called. I cannot watch it. It's just too much for me. This is a topic where I'm so emotional. I cannot watch this movie. I really wanted to watch the movie because I want to know how they are doing it. Maybe I'm going to learn something, how they are kidnapping children, so I can adjust my defensive, measures. But I just cannot watch it. It's too... I don't want to have this amount of negative reality on my soul. It's too much. So I still want you to know that things like these are happening, which you already know, but it's really happening a lot. It even happened to me, almost. I got away, but I was lucky. Okay, guys, so this is it for today. I know it's a little bit of a different topic, but I think it's still important. It's also survival. It's urban survival. and we need to prepare ourselves for it, and we need to prepare our children for it. And that's really important. So thank you for watching, guys. Take care of your children and stay tuned till next time.